It's a new dawn in Lamu County, and the sun rises over the Port of Lamu, illuminating the new economic hope for the community whose majority, since times past, majorly lives at a subsistence level. But now, the new Port of Lamu stretches itself wide on the mainland shores, displaying its presence as an embodiment of Kenya's socio and economic transformative agenda for the region. Dubbed the Lapsset Corridor Project, this is Kenya's most ambitious development plan to unlock the economic potential of over 70% of the country's landmass and strategically connect the neighboring landlocked countries of Ethiopia and South Sudan to the Port of Lamu through a series of road, rail, and pipeline infrastructure, thereby promoting regional economic integration and people-to-people interactions as envisioned by the African Union's Continental Agenda and Kenya's Vision 2030 economic blueprint. Yes, 5 years ago, all that stood on the hinterland was a vision amidst the mangrove trees and thickets with small fishing boats spread out ashore. But in 2016, that changed as construction works for the first phase of the Port of Lamu commenced following completion of the environmental social impact assessment studies, the signing of the construction contract between the Government of Kenya and the China Communication Construction Company, land acquisition and compensation of project-affected persons, and the completion of the detailed design studies for the port. The first phase of Lamu Port includes the construction of the first 3 berths and terminals, dredging of the channel and turning bays, revetment and construction of retaining walls. In addition, construction of dedicated yards for the motor vehicle and livestock trade, construction of an 800-meter-long causeway linking the port berths and terminal areas to the hinterland, which hosts the support infrastructure for the port. This support infrastructure include a port headquarters, an ultra-modern port police station, power lines connecting the port to the national grid, a water reticulation network, and a project management and security housing project. The Port of Lamu is a natural harbor, deep sea port accessed through 2 channels. The main channel, approaching from the east, has been dredged to a depth of 17.5 meters and has a width of 600 meters. The sub-channel has a dredge depth of 12.5 meters and 300 meters wide. Close to 1,500 steel piles, welded and cut to precision, are strategically piled, supporting the superstructure and configured to support the weight of cargo and the handling equipment. The port terminals are constructed through reclamation of land from the sea using the dredged materials, which are tightly compacted, followed by the deck formwork, leveling, and pavement. The result is a magnificent port facility whose 3 berths span 1.2 kilometers in length with a terminal handling capacity of 1.2 million TEUs and equipped with 1,340 reefer ports. This, coupled with an impressive draft, Lamu Port can accommodate vessels with a carrying capacity of up to 20,000 TEUs. The causeway, a dual carriage, 800-meter-long road, stretches ashore, facilitating movement of cargo to and from the hinterland to the port terminals. The port is fully equipped with auxiliary infrastructure that aid in the management and operations of the port. The Lapsset Plaza, whose build and design are inspired by the local architecture, hosts the management of the port. Both the Lapsset Corridor Development Authority that oversees the Lapsset project components and the Kenya Ports Authority have set up operations there. The port is equipped with an ultra-modern police station, providing port security, ensuring the safety of security of personnel and property. The port housing unit comprises of 48 units in its initial phase. This provides housing to both port security and agencies personnel handling operations at the port. Moreover, the port power is supplied by a recently constructed 220 kV substation connected to the national grid. It is also fitted with high-speed internet access, supporting port automated services and integrated online services for port-related businesses. Lamu Port is interlinked through a series of road networks that form the Lapsset Corridor Highway, spanning 1,758 kilometers in length, and road networks that link the port to the Northern Corridor and EAC markets. This network of road infrastructure converges at the 10-kilometer Lamu Port Access Road, a modern dual-carriage road designed for efficient evacuation of cargo. This is all part of an integrated transport master plan that puts into account the future development plan of the area and the transport needs for both goods and people. The first berth of the Port of Lamu was operationalized on 20th May 2021 as the nation gathered to witness the coming to life of the port, which cost the taxpayer 60 billion Kenya shillings, a major milestone towards actualizing the development plan for Lamu as a future port city and gateway to the global markets for Kenya and the African continent. So far, 24 ships have made call to the Port of Lamu, carrying containerized and conventional cargo. The port has found a niche in the livestock sector, handling exports of close to 30,000 livestock to the Gulf region. In 2022, all the 3 berths of Lamu Port were completed, equipped with the requisite facilities from warehouses, office complexes to control access points. Equipping of the port is underway for the facilities ship, yard, marine, and general operations. The Kenya Ports Authority has recently acquired 3 Harbour Mobile cranes in July this year, whose assembling and configuration is in progress. This is in addition to the terminal tractors, trailers, forklifts, rubber tire gantries, cranes, and more that are found at the Port of Lamu. Similarly, navigation aid equipment and tugboats are in place, assisting in the pilotage, mooring, and berthing services. The port's efficiency continues to be enhanced further by acquiring 4 ship-to-shore gantry cranes for stevedoring operations. Moreover, the Kenya Ports Authority has on offer promotional tariffs, discounting marine and cargo handling services and offering storage-free periods for imports, exports, and transshipment cargo, as well as motor vehicle units. Lamu Port has the required staff personnel drawn from relevant port agencies. The Customs Office, the Kenya Bureau of Standards, the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, and the Kenya Port Health, to name a few, have set up shop, forming the desired one-stop center at the facility. The end-to-end process mapping from ship operations, documentation, yard-to-gate operations is complete. Business processes are seamless, fully automated and robust, with multi-sectoral standard operating procedures and customs regulations. The port's strategic location, build quality, equipping and personnel position the facility to handle domestic, transit, and transshipment cargo. Already, social and economic benefits have begun to be felt by the local community, who are eager to be the first beneficiaries of this mega Lapsset project. The project has employed close to 1,000 workers during the construction stage, facilitating skills transfer to the local workforce. Over 100 dockers drawn from the youth in Lamu are currently handling operations at the port, with more to be employed as business continues to peak. Under the Lapsset Scholarship Program, 1,000 youth stand to benefit from the training, gaining skills and competencies that will give them a competitive edge to take on the economic opportunities that result from the Lapsset Corridor projects. For Lamu, the port has been a major catalyst to utilities and infrastructure development for the county. Hundreds of kilometers of paved roads have been constructed, whereas in times past, this particular area had no tarmac road. Moreover, reliable power supply has been made available, connecting to the national grid areas that were dependent on noisy diesel power generators. This has been a good incentive for local businesses and residential complexes to grow as more and more people find Lamu now an ideal place to settle. With the first phase of Lamu Port complete, now the focus is on the full operations of the facility as well as construction of additional terminals. Already, the Lapsset Corridor Development Authority, with the support of the African Development Bank, is undertaking feasibility studies and through a collaborative process, structure the project and additional terminals under the public-private partnership framework. The ultimate long-term goal for Lamu Port is to have 23 berths developed and operated through a concerted effort by the government, development partners, and the private sector, taking on the sea of opportunities this project brings as a gateway to global trade for the African continent.